As news editor of BoardGameGeek, I receive a fair number of review copies of games from publishers around the world. And when I consider the number of shipments that I receive multiplied by the tens or hundreds or even thousands of shipments that go out all the time, I thought I would send a short appeal to publishers to consider the environmental impact of how they package games. And this appeal primarily goes to US publishers because, for the most part, they tend to include some form of plastic in the form of air-filled bubbles or a foam wrap. And I understand the reason why you want to use such materials, because obviously you want people to receive an undamaged game and not complain about it on social media and say, why are you treating this game so poorly? You should spend more care packaging the game since I'm spending money for it. I want something that looks good. But European publishers tend to avoid plastic. And I don't know whether this is because of EU policy or just a general tendency to have a larger environmental picture when you are looking at all aspects of your manufacturing. Not sure why that happens, but the games that I receive from European publishers tend to have no plastic at all. Let me show you. Here's a typical box I received from a US publisher. You fold down the flaps, you tape the bottom, flip it over, put it in some sort of protective material, fold down the flaps, seal it, and ship it. Okay, it's very standard size for the square 12 by 12 box that a lot of publishers use. But as an alternative, here's a package I received from German publisher 2F Spiele. Notice these indents on the side. Well, those indents are there because the game is actually packaged inside protective cardboard flaps. So here you have the long box, but this format would work for a square box as well. You put the box in, you fold the flaps down. You'll notice this little climate neutral symbol here. All right, some recycling things pointing out the environmental nature of the package itself. And then the flap is folded over and the package sealed. And then to open it, you tear the strip away, and there you go. Game's all set and ready for you. And 2F Spiele uses this for all its packaging. So I received for Ziert, works the same way. It's a smaller box, but the exact same style of packing, where you're going to fold the flaps down, and this can be, if it were a bigger game, then the flaps would go out larger. So you can adjust depending on whatever you are shipping. And the box itself is sealed inside and is not going to move. So however you shake it, everything stays in place. There's a similar package I received from German publisher Nürnberger Spielkartenverlag. Again, same format. It's got the cardboard sleeve, has multiple tiny games inside, and I included the catalog as well. And again, everything stays in place and does not move. No plastic needed. So not all US publishers use plastic. Here's a package I received from Restoration Games. This came in a box. I recycled the box, but I kept the packing material. It's this really interesting cardboard weave that is not going to damage the game at all. Everything stays in place here. However you put it in the box, it's not going to get damaged. And I'll note that this copy of the game actually came plastic free. I don't know whether the publisher received it that way from the manufacturer. I assume that's possible when you're getting media samples ahead of time. You say, just don't shrink those, we're going to ship those out anyway. And people are going to open them, and good. Even a little bit less plastic used. So here's another game I received from French publisher Funny Fox Games. I have not opened this yet, but it looked like the same format, so I thought I'd do it on camera. And hopefully the games are not destroyed inside and will prove me wrong. But no, everything looks good other than me hitting my tripod. And again, you see the games packed inside. Oh, with even some tape. Something not present in the other games. Promo card. Okay. And you see future titles that I might cover. Almaty, I know this is available on Board Game Arena right now, not being sold in the US at the moment, but maybe that'll be possible in the future. And writer, can you see a game? Oh, who would have guessed that I would receive one of those? All right, I'll get the promo card off later if I can do that. But again, it's the same concept. Plastic avoided, other than that strip that you pull off. And now you can collapse this down. And that's it. There's very little to it compared to the more traditional US shipping. Here's another game from German publisher Loosey Goosey Games, which is a new publisher. I have not opened this, clearly. Debuted at Spiel 2021. And mostly I was just curious to see whether they avoided plastic as well. And thought I'd do it on camera. Also, I could show off a bag of butts. Who doesn't want to see a bag of butts, right? This is so secure. All right, maybe I'll have to cut the bottom as well. Or, that's right. There we go. No plastic. The box is cut down to fit that size exactly. Fit all the games. There's nothing extra. I recycle plastic shipping material and much of my cardboard by giving it to an artist who lives a few doors down, and this woman then reuses the material to send goods to patrons. So it's great that this is not a one-time use material. Who knows what those people do when they get it, but ideally the plastic would not arrive at my door in the first place because alternatives are available that would leave plastic out of the equation entirely. We know that everything has an environmental cost to it, whether you are getting something shipped to you or you are going to pick something up, whether it's a game or any other thing. But since we know that shipments in the who knows how many tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, of millions will continue, why not go towards a better option that leaves plastic out of the equation as much as possible? It can be done.